Hey,
It's only 3 seconds,
isn't that long enough?
I guess.
Hi, this is Jenna,
And I'm Heather.
and this is Conspiracies Unlocked. We are reading Paris, the memoir. Memoir? Am I saying that right?
You said it really weird. You're like, Paris, the memoir.
I can't say that word. Okay, so we're doing the book review, going chapter by chapter like we did with Brittany, but I know for a fact there are a lot of good little conspiracies in here, and the Hilton family is very powerful. So let's see how it is to be raised rich. So Paris Hilton starts with, we're going to do the prologue
We
first.
should say
Yes.
the book was copyrighted in 2023, but there was a bonus update in 2024.
So we get to do that one at the very end. So this is pages 1 through 10. It's a prologue, so it's like before the first chapter. And it says, dedication is for the family I was born into, the family I made, and the family I found along the way. I love you all. I thought that was cute.
Yes.
I love Paris Hilton.
Really sweet.
So, her brain, the way that she writes her book, it went straight into ADHD brain, like completely. And Heather was like, what the fuck? I understood it, and it all wraps back around, but she just like, she totally embraces her ADHD completely, and I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Like, yeah, you have it. You read what you have.
I started my notes with what Paris started in her book. She says that she has ADHD, and she says that it makes her lose her phone, but it also makes her who she is. So, well, I'll just read what she actually wrote.
Yeah.
She says, makes me lose my phone, but it also makes me who I am. So if I'm going to love myself, I have to love my ADHD.
Yeah. So she totally embraces ADHD, and if you're not aware, which you guys probably aren't, I have ADHD and I lose my phone all the time, which I know is like everybody always does. But she goes on to talk about how she went to Pride with Christina Aguilera, and that she left her house with no shoes. Do you know how many times I've done that?
But how do you literally leave your house with no shoes?
Do you know that I've gone to Alexis's house and left her house without my shoes? I've gone all the way back home, and I had sandals and shit there because I always take them off and then I just leave.
But don't you feel that your feet don't have anything on them?
No, because I don't like shoes. I've always like barefoot, so I don't even like notice, and people are always just like shuffling me in the car, shuffling me out of the car. Let's go, let's go. No, I don't notice. And so when I read that, I was like, oh my God, like I can totally relate. So I get that, like, losing your phone and all this stuff, but the shoe thing is real, guys. Like, my life is a fucking mess. And when she went to the Pride, she was going to perform with Christina Aguilera, and she walked into the wrong dressing room with no shoes on, the whole thing. Just bad. It's totally me. Yeah, that's something that I would do. The whole ADHD thing is like, it's going to come up throughout this whole book, and it's like, that's why I'm like, I just need to embrace it and just have it be, that's it, you know? And I've been trying to embrace it this past year really well. Have you noticed?
I mean, I don't know because I'm not in your brain, so I don't know like how you, like your perception of things and mine are completely different. And so when you feel like, oh, you did something and you embraced it, I might just think that's just normal for like what you do. Like I don't realize that you're consciously saying, oh, I'm going to do this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't know that unless you said, oh, well, fuck it, I forgot my shoes. Like that's just what happened. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't.
Yeah. I can't believe you look at me like I'm crazy when I say I lost my shoes too. Like,
I don't think you're
how
crazy.
do you not lose your shoes when you're like running around the house and stuff and you just leave?
I mean, I do understand, like, you have 3 little kids, and so, like, it can be, like, a lot to, like, I know you're always thinking of your kids, and you're thinking of, like, getting everything, like, that you need for the day and whatnot, and you might forget something that you need yourself, and I see that as just, like, a mother thing, too, not necessarily ADHD, because I've done that. I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, but I've done similar things many times. But for me, I just wouldn't forget my shoes specifically. Primarily because I hate the feeling of things like on my feet.
Yeah.
Like a sensory thing. Like I'm all for like walking on grass or and grounding yourself, or like walking along the beach in the ocean, and like
Well,
sure.
It's so funny. I hate the fucking ocean.
You're gonna take off your shoes for like certain things. Like I get that. But like I can't just like, as soon as I walked out, I don't want my socks to get dirty. Like as soon as I would walk outside, I would just automatically know like, fuck, I don't have shoes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I walk around barefoot like all the time.
You do just walk around barefoot. Like you never, right now, like you don't have shoes.
No.
I mean, we're in the house. I don't have shoes on either.
But like outside and stuff, when I take up the trash cans or I go check the mail or when I just go outside.
And you have to, it's going to sound weird. Like we're talking about feet a lot, but you have like tough feet.
I do.
No, because I went with you to get your trash cans just recently. And I remember finding like it's been hot, it's summer, and I was finding like the little tiny
shades.
part of shade I could find. And you're like, you even made a comment to me. You're like, are your feet hot? You're like hiding in the shade over there. I was like, fuck yeah, my feet are gonna have blisters on the bottom. And you're just like walking around and like nothing.
Yeah.
It was like blacktop too, so it wasn't like we were walking in like the grass.
Yeah, no, but
so yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, it's like I'm always wearing shoes. What are you talking about? So so she walks into the wrong dressing room. So and then she says about how she's taking selfies because that's like her thing. She always takes selfies, but she always she takes the camera from the people.
No,
so
she'll take it like this
and do the right selfie because look how great we look. Because going tall is the way to.
You don't want to look at your nose.
Yeah, and she's tall, so she's always aware of that. And she'd rather have a good picture than like one where we're all like, ah. So, and then she explains her unicorn trot that is not fully running, more like a graceful than galloping, and less like skipping than dancing. And she says that she's had a hard time going slow, and her husband Carter is the one who named it a unicorn trot.
That's cute.
Yeah, whenever I watch her show.
Because she is kind of skipping around. Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, she's always like going. Yeah.
She also mentioned that she did attend Britney Spears' wedding the week before the Pride Festival and before her Pride party and performance with Christina Aguilera. So I thought that was interesting. Kind of put a timestamp on it when this was, because Britney Spears' wedding was like in 2022 or something with Hassam. So kind of put like a little timestamp.
Yeah. She goes off on a tangent about music, Elvis, Vegas Hilton, Vegas residencies, and then back on track because that's what she does. And
but we should say about that a little bit.
That she lost her phone after the pictures with the dancers, and then
we have a totally different note. So I have that her grandfather was Baron Hilton.
Yes.
And he did start the Vegas residency trend. He started it with Elvis. And he hired Elvis at the Hilton International in 1996.
1969. 1996, Elvis was dead.
I know.
And same with Conrad.
It's funny because my notes say 1969. But my dyslexia has switched the numbers. And then she did also say that her great-grandfather was Conrad Hilton. And then that's when she trails off and she talks about Pride. Jenna.
Well, so first she talks about her dogs, too. She lost her phone after taking pictures with the models. She lost her phone and she's freaking out, but she's doing her sliving and DJing and stuff. And she's doing all that. And she's like, oh, fuck, where's my phone? Because she's so worried that someone's going to get it and exploit all the pictures, and just she has to always be media conscious and media aware and just like be very protective of anything that is out there about her.
For sure. Yeah.
But that is also part of her mom instilling that as well, because her mom and her family has always been in the press, Page Six, whatever. Like her grandfather was married to Zsa Gabor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So they've always been not just because they're like, well, because they're the Hiltons, but it's like they've always been in
Socialites.
Socialites, yeah.
Socialites, yeah.
Yeah. So then she talks about her dogs and how much she loves her dogs and that her mom instilled skincare, and she's never smoked cigarettes or got too into Coke. I love how I didn't get too into Coke.
You skip so much.
Well, because I didn't care about all that. What'd I skip?
One of her dogs is 154 in human years.
Yeah. We know that she loves dogs. Yeah,
That's
she's
very
talking about her
old.
dogs. Dogs, skincare.
Well, she also references Kim K.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
So what she says is she is talking about the importance of skincare, and then she references Kim Kardashian, where Kim Kardashian is quoted in her book saying, "I don't know anyone who parties as hard as you do and looks as good as you do." And then Paris said, "Skincare, seriously. If you take nothing else from my story, skincare is sacred."
Yes, it's huge. And if you watch her show, she always has the eye patches on. She's always, when she's at home doing her nightly routine and stuff, she's always like putting that on.
I wonder if she has frownies. Like
Probably.
those things you put here so you don't get wrinkles.
She probably never even had those. the angry eyes. So like I said, she never smoked cigarettes because it messes with your skin, and she never got too into Coke because she saw all the girls from the 80s and they looked like trash by the 90s. So she dabbled but didn't get too much into that.
And
she didn't want to sacrifice her skin.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she didn't want to sacrifice her skin, but that's why she only does the spray tans.
Yeah, self-tanning spray tan is her only bad vice, and her sunscreen is her 11th commandment. And then she goes back to ADHD. It's exhausting and exhilarating, and it's how God made me, so it must be right. And Carter doesn't understand it, but he's the first boy to ever try, and he spent a lot of time researching. And I'm like, dude, I love that because I spend so much time. I'm always trying to explain it to Heather and to my husband and stuff, and nobody understands it. You just said you don't understand it. But like, so that's why I send you memes and stuff, so that way you understand me better.
I understand you a lot, and no, I mean, I really do.
Yeah.
I really do, and I have so much patience for you, and I know that I do things that, like, you have a lot of patience for me, too, because we are kind of polar opposites in a lot of ways. Like, I take forever to do things, and I'm very slow.
The slowest person in the world, I'm pretty sure.
And the thing is like, it's not that I don't comprehend what I'm doing. I'm just very like, I do things on my own time and I don't like to be rushed. And then Jenna's like, come on, we have to go. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's
get out the fucking door.
Go. Like,
yeah.
Pick up your stuff. Like, and it's like, so she pushes me to like do better and do more. And I kind of make her I try to help her like relax a little bit.
Yeah, because Heather said that I'm in a constant state of panic.
Often it's not like a panic like where you're having a literal panic attack. It's just like, it's like almost like she comes in and it's like a tornado. It's like whoosh. But it's not destructive tornado. It's
I try to clean, although my shit's everywhere.
It's not in a destructive or negative way. It's just the best way that I can describe it. It's like a whirlwind. It's like she's just...
When we go to the store, I'll drive, and I'm already like in the store while she's still trying to get out of the car.
I'm literally getting out of the car, and she's like already walking through the front door at the store.
Yeah.
And then she's like calling me like, are you okay?
What are you doing?
Where are you?
Like, come here.
And I'm like, I'm coming. I'm right behind you.
So Carter was a venture capitalist, or is a venture capitalist, and that's her husband, Carter Room. And she was in a documentary called The Disruptors.
Oh, we should say that he is the founder with his brother Courtney of a company called M13, and they're like millionaires.
Yeah, they have money in their own right, and I think they always had. I think they grew up with money as well.
Yeah.
And so The Disruptors was a documentary about like just famous people who have ADHD, and she goes into how and what ADHD, and it's pretty much a survival instinct from primitive cave people days. So she's pretty much like, while everyone is like all content and happy and stuff, our like primitive nature is to like always be alert and go, 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 and just wake up at the sound of a twig because you could die. So she says that she's a primitive badass. ADHD people can never be the orderly people others want them to be. And that's what I'm trying to embrace this past year. And she's really good at damage control because she's always losing things late and pissing people off. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm always late. I'm always losing things. I'm always pissing people off. And she's really good at multitasking because she's not hardwired to concentrate. So ADHD sees time as a spirograph of interconnected events. Anything that triggers adrenaline or endorphins is oxygen for the ADHD brain. So she like always needs fun. So she's always going. And you said that about my driving like the other day. You were like, I think you like adrenaline.
Yeah. Yeah, because when she drives, she's not just like driving, like it's not like she's driving unsafely, like she's driving within like, you know, safe, but she's also kind of off-roading a little bit. And then like speeding a little bit, but we are in California, everybody speeds. I mean, if you're not going like 80 on the freeway, you're basically gonna get ran over anyhow. But she has like a big lifted vehicle. I won't talk about your car too much, but she has like it's like, so she can easily like off-road and stuff. So like even today in the Chick-fil-A line, we're in the Chick-fil-A line, and she's like, sorry, and she's like off-roading, like in the like driving like halfway on the thing.
But it was really wasn't my fault. I couldn't because I have long travel on my wheels stick out. Like I can't go through car washes or anything. So
yeah,
it's
And if anybody's been through the Chick-fil-A line, it's like going through In-N-Out line.
Yeah,
it's like very
so
long. It's like it goes into 2 lanes. You got to like narrow down to one. So there's merging. There's merging
in the fucking Chick-fil-A line.
So it's like there's a lot happening here.
Anyway, so she says that the disadvantage of having ADHD is that people around you are inconvenienced, weirded out, or hurt by your behavior. And that's so true because I know that I blurt out a lot of things, and unless you know me, you're gonna be like, she's a bitch. And a lot of people think I'm a bitch when they first meet me, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm like the coolest person that you'll ever know. You just have to get to know me.
I don't think I ever thought you were a bitch.
Super like sarcastic. I just kind of say what I want. Like I just like however it is, and I don't mean a lot of things. I don't mean like I never really mean to be mean, and I don't mean, they just come out, and like I'm like, oh my God. And like I was like the I have a waitress at the airport that I go to see or whatever that like waits on us at a small local airport, and we go there to eat, and she I feel so bad because I was like, oh my God, you look so different. What did you do to your hair? It's so straight. Like, what is going on? And it wasn't like mean. It was like I noticed it was like really straight, and it was really like not mean. But Brad was like, what the fuck? You can't say that. Like, you're being mean. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm just.
That's not mean.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like that. I was just like, you look different. Like, it was very shocking when you see someone and then they look that, and you're like, you know.
So was her hair normally curly?
Yeah, it's curly, or it's like not as poofy. She had used a roller brush that morning, so it was more up. It was like more up, so it framed her face more. Like, yeah, it was very interesting. But anyways, so yeah, so pissing people off is like what I do best. So, and then also, kids with ADHD or people, anybody, they're always being judged or punished, which makes you feel like shit in general.
Oh, why they always being? I don't remember her saying they were always judged.
Yeah, they're always judged or punished.
She did say that approximately 5% of children and 2.5% of adults have ADHD.
Yeah, and women are really good at masking it. I don't know if she said that or not, but I just know that.
She did talk a lot of the benefits of having ADHD, which include, in her opinion, creativity, intuition, resilience, and the ability to brainstorm and like multitask, like you were saying.
Yeah. And Paris was never medicated for it as a child. Girls are good at hiding symptoms, so she did write that. And then people always told Paris to fit in, that she was dumb, bratty, careless, ungrateful, not applying herself.
Did you talk about this spirograph?
Yeah, I did, right here. sees time as a spirograph of interconnected events.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But it's very interesting because that's what we always say, everything's connected and all that.
Yeah, the past, the present, and the future is all like
it's
one.
all together, yeah. So, she was on Adderall until she met Carter. And because Carter did so much research and like really understood her, well, not understood her, but really tried to, she saw a man named Dr. Holloway, and he said, here, I'm going to read this, page 8 on the top. Here, he says, I've been trying to explain to people since 1981 that this condition, if you use it properly, is an asset composed of qualities you can't buy and can't teach. It's stigma that holds us back. Stigma plus ignorance, a lethal combination. It's like, that makes total sense because it's a stigma, but it is like a superhero. And kryptonite, like ADHD people, their kryptonite is boredom. So a lot of times they will self-regulate with adrenaline. And she's like, what's the best way to get adrenaline? Put yourself in a bad relationship. That's full of adrenaline.
Oh, yeah, toxicity.
So bad relationships, do everything the hard way. She says that she wishes the ADHD stood for ass kicking, dope, hell yes, and drive. This is Paris's brain, and her book will reflect this spirograph of time, and it's all connected. And I already listened to like half of it on tape, and it really is all connected. Like, it'll make sense. You just have to go through her little ADHD brain of like getting off track and then bringing it back.
Yeah.
And a lot of times she like cusses it in the book, and she's like, oh my fucking God, where was I? Fuck. And then she's like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, she says that all the time in the book. And I highly think that you should listen to one of the chapters, so you can hear her like saying it instead of just reading it in your voice. When you hear it in her voice, it's better.
It translates more.
Yeah.
Did you write down the family life?
Oh, I forgot.
Here, I'll say.
No, I did right here. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
She goes on to say she's going to talk about things she's never told anyone or even processed herself because she always avoids issues, which is a trait of her family. And her family rules, did you write it down? I just read page 9.
I have it here. So
okay.
I have the family, I wrote it as a family life growing up. Not necessarily their mottos, but just kind of the way that she was conditioned in a sense. So 1, if you don't talk about something, it's not a problem. 2, if you hide pain of something, it cannot hurt you. 3, if you pretend not to notice how deeply you hurt someone else, you don't have to feel bad about it.
And her mom was so upset about that.
Yeah.
Like, she was just like, what the fuck?
Because her mom doesn't like to talk about anything.
No. She puts on her lipstick or the lip gloss.
She disassociates.
Yeah.
And she just kind of like tunes it out, and she doesn't want to hear it. She won't let herself hear. She might listen. No, what is it? Listen but not hear, or hear not listen, or whatever.
Yeah, like she's not really listening.
She's not absorbing the information.
Yeah. So, and they come from a family of brilliant business people, and it's not good business to care or whatever, right? Is that what she was saying? I forgot what she was saying.
She said it's bullshit, basically, to feel that way. Like, those 3 points are bullshit, and it's not good business. You invest hoping for a return. Of course, there's always a risk.
Yeah, because she says relationships are transactional.
Yes.
Hope for a good return, but always a risk.
True.
And the book, she wrote the book so she can take ownership of her past and her mistakes and everything, for good or for bad. And then she ends it with fuck fitting in.
Yeah. I wrote on here a little bit more. I said that her mom, the book is going to be very hard for her mom.
Yeah.
Her mom, she will not be surprised if her mom just like shelves the book for a while and just does not even read it.
And that's okay.
And that's okay until she's ready to read it. And then she acknowledges, like, Paris acknowledges that she herself has made mistakes, and that although she is a very private person and she doesn't really like to talk a lot about her private life, out in the public, it is very but she feels her story can help others, and she's quoted saying, she knows that her story will help many other young women to stop hating themselves, see they have a voice and their own brand of intelligence, and as you said, fuck fitting in, girl.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
there it is. So the book is going to be very back and forth. Her mind really does come out in this of like how her mind works and processes. And it's, yeah. So I can't wait. We'll be doing chapter 1 next week. And yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining us and listening to Paris Hilton's prologue, the Memoir Prologue.
Unlocked. Whatever we're gonna title it somewhere over there.
Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to come back next week for chapter 1. Don't forget to
share, like, and subscribe,
and email us at conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com. Bye.
Bye.
How do you end it?
I forget.
Where's the right there?
Yeah.